in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk. Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. This is the Just Nicking It show. The Knicks are 1-1 in the first round of the playoffs versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 3 and Game 4 are at Madison Square Garden this Friday, this Sunday, where the Knicks hope, or at least I hope, they take a 3-1 lead. That's what I'm looking for. You know, we're going to talk about our young guys today. You know, were we expecting too much of them coming into this series, particularly Emmanuel Quickley? We'll talk about why the expectations weren't that high for RJ Barrett for a lot of us coming into this series, and maybe, you know, that was justified. We'll talk about Emmanuel Quickley coming in second in the Sixth Man of the Year voting. I believe it was second. They already coming at my guy, Tom Thibodeau. You know, you lose a game, they always coming for the coach. Nobody's saying anything about the players shooting 37%, 24% from the line. Thibodeau should have did a better job. Listen, I think there's enough blame to go around. So we'll talk about the series up to this point. Shout out to everybody in the chat, those that have joined us later, and obviously the replay gang, those that's watching us while you vacuum in the living room and doing the laundry and driving the car and whatever you're doing. Appreciate you. All right. Jarrell, delusional Knick fan, Ajay, how we doing today? Tonight, I should say.
Salute.
Doing good. Salute.
I came here to express myself tonight, so we getting ready.
We are definitely getting ready. Salute to everybody in the chat. All right. I mean, listen, let's just get right into it. Before we talk about Quickley per se, what was your expectations of our young guys? And I'm just limiting that to those with 2 or 3 years experience. So Obi, Quickley, Grimes, if you want to throw McBride in there, even though he's not in the rotation, what was your expectations of them coming into the playoffs?
Do you mind if I set it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Expectations were astronomical for me. Okay. Grimes last couple weeks been on fire. Jump shot is looking great. So we expected for that to carry over into the playoffs. Especially he had a good game against Cleveland as well. So we figured, okay, he can play against the team, familiarity. He's able to have that mindset to let it fly. Then, of course, Quickley, we know what Quickley can do. Solid point guards, aggressiveness. On most of the stage that's been big at the Garden, he shows up, you know, in big moments. His game against Miami where he showed up, took over the fourth quarter. So we know what Quickley's capable of doing. So we expected ultra high. I thought Quickley was going to be the X factor in this series, that guy that could come off the bench, spark plug, give you 30 if needed, give you 10 assists if needed, and give you 10 rebounds if needed. So that's why it was high. Even with Mitch, you know, Mitch coming in the first playoffs, I'm expecting Mitch to bang. They made a comment with Mitch saying, how can he deal with the height and size of Cleveland? And he said, well, we got big guys here too. We can bang too. So we saw that confidence. We're like, okay, Mitch is ready. And then, of course, game one, we saw game one. We felt good about game one, but not great because they didn't show up. You know, Mitch game, his presence was felt, but the numbers wasn't there. Quickley numbers wasn't there. Grimes numbers wasn't there. But we figured, okay, they playing a little defense. We had the lead. We took over. We felt good. Now, game two, went in with that high expectations as if, hey, These guys didn't show up. They gotta eventually show up now. This is the time. And everybody was left in game one. Everybody. They did not quickly get entrapped, didn't know how to pass the ball. Darius Garland, pretty much similar height and build, was just bullying everybody across the court. Mitch getting out rebound, out banged. It was just horrible. So my expectations were high. I'm back to cloud nine. I'm back from cloud nine now. And ready to say this is an even playing field, and my Knicks need to step up.
Okay, all right. Let me just ask you a quick question, and Adji and Jarrell, you can answer this if you want when your turn comes. You didn't have just a little bit of concern that they were going to be playing on a higher level, on a in a tougher field, that the playoffs were a little different than the regular season. You just felt like what they were doing was going to translate.
Well, from game one, well, yeah, I assume yes, before game one. So we're talking prior to game one. Yeah, I thought they would come in, at least Grimes would still give you 14, not to say he had dropped to 23 from before. And with Quickley played on a big stage in Kentucky. Playoffs is totally different. Totally understand that. I'm just going for the mindset.
Right.
That's they should have came in with that mindset and ability, especially even after game one, when you saw and got that experience. Hey, we didn't play our best, we contributed and we won. So maybe I can take it to that next level and bring a little something extra. Which they definitely did. But yeah, and it's me being delusional, that's where I get the name from.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of us, a lot of us felt that way. Even recognizing that it was a tougher, it would be a tougher environment. I don't think people thought it wouldn't be. I think they just thought that they would be able to still contribute regardless.
Yeah.
Jarrell or Ajay?
I'll go. So the question, did we have high expectations? Yes, I did.
Oh, what was your expectations? Or if high, whichever one.
And for a couple of shows before the playoffs, and I think I told you guys, I know I told you guys several times, Quentin Grimes is one of my X factors. I did expect him to perform better, and I still do. We've only played 2 games. I still expect Quentin Grimes to play better. And I also expect Emmanuel Quickley to pick it up. So yes, I had high expectation, and I'm confident that they're going to be able to pull that. Listen, these guys, they're not going to continue to have bad games, even though, listen, that's possible. We've seen it happen, but I don't think Emmanuel Quickley is going to have the poor kind of performance that we've seen him have. And Mitchell Robinson, I had higher expectation for him. Game 2 was, I don't know what that was from him. So I really did expect him to step up to the plate and take the challenge. Unfortunately, he didn't. Another young guy, RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett isn't it because he's a 4-year player. Mitch is a 5-year player.
Well, okay. So
talking about,
so you talk about all right.
Obi Quickley Grind. But we're going to talk about Mitch and
Obi Toppins for his role, what his role's been all season, what his minutes been all season. I think he just did exactly what he's been doing all season for both games. Nothing's changed with Obi Toppins. So he's just been himself. So he hasn't dropped. There's been no drop in his game for the 2 games that I noticed. Nothing crazy.
I think Quickley and Grimes will play better in game 3 and 4. But what have you seen that's going to make them, that you think will make them play better? The fact that they're at home, they'll be more comfortable. What are you basing it on?
Because they're professional basketball player, they are talented, and they are going to be prepared for it. You're not going to lay down and take the beating constantly. These guys, they have pride, they have game. They've been doing this all lives. So I expect the coaching staff to work with those guys to prepare them for what's coming, or for how to play the next game. Okay. Game 1 and game 2 were game 1, cold feet, they didn't know. Game 2, they didn't know what hit them. Game 3, I expect them to do much better because they're going to be prepared. They know what to do. They're professional basketball players. They know what to do. So they're going to be prepared for it.
Is it possible that is it possible that what they do, Cleveland is just better at limiting it? And the reason I say that, and this goes beyond Quickley. Quickley is someone who likes to probe in the key to see if he can get off that floater. He's not somebody like Grimes. He's going to get the ball. He's going to make a quick decision. Either he's going to shoot it. He's going to attack the closeout. Quick wants to get it, dribble around, probe, see where the soft spots are, see what he can get up. But he's doing that against a team who is very good in terms of their interior defense. And I think that's the challenge, not just for Quickley, but for RJ Barrett, for Julius Randle, for Mitchell Robinson, for Brunson, right? Their strengths are also the strengths of Cleveland, right? So what is it that makes you think Quick is going to be better?
Okay, so Quick, they didn't just take away what Quick does by taking it away. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that throughout the show. Mm-hmm. I like to call it a series. It's like a domino effect, mm-hmm. or a series of unfortunate events that cause this to happen. We'll talk about. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but listen. There are 5 players on the court, right? One guy doesn't do what he does. It gives the other team an opportunity to do something more than they would normally do. Again, like I said, we'll talk about that as we get along, because when we get to the meat and potatoes of the show, we'll get into that part. But it's not. So if the other 4 players were doing what they're supposed to do, Quickley would have been able to do exactly what he's been doing all year.
But maybe if Quickley was doing what he was supposed to do,
it
would help the others do what they're supposed to do.
That is also valid.
That's exactly. As a matter of fact,
that's exactly the point.
The fact that Quickley is not doing what he is supposed to do changes a lot for us.
Yes,
it changes. It changes a lot for
all
us.
of them. The fact that Grimes not getting the ball and shooting the ball, or shooting the ball well, it allows other people to blitz Jalen Brunson, to blitz Julius Randle. It allows them to, like I said, it's a domino effect. One guy one guy's not in his spot, and it throws the whole thing off. And we'll examine that.
We'll examine. I think it's more than spots, though.
Oh well, no. When I say
because
spots,
I think a lot of it is there's certain things the Knicks do well, and there's certain things the Knicks don't do well. They are not a good perimeter shooting team. We knew that coming in. That's not where they get their points, right? So this is the challenge for the Knicks. Where they get their points is where Cleveland is strong at. Anyway, Jarrell, we done went on down the road, but we're going to bring it back. We're going to ask you the original question. What was your expectation of our young guys coming into the playoffs?
I had high expectations, but I also do remember and know that they're young. So young players are inconsistent, especially in the playoffs. Role players always play bad, not always play bad at home on the road, but they play better at home. So we'll have those next 2 games at MSG. Hopefully they'll play better. But yeah, they're role players. I think we have to remember that they're role players. Like these aren't all-stars that we're talking about. Quickley and Grimes, this is the first time they've been in the playoffs. Well, not for Quickley, but this is the real time, like the first time he's actually getting like real significant minutes and have a bigger role on the team. This is Grimes' first time. Mitch's first time. We're not really talking about him because he's not young, but yeah, like these dudes are all.
We're talking about experience. We can,
yeah, well, experience. I'm just not age. But yeah, but he's young when it comes to experience too. So these are all role players that had their first playoff experience on the road. We lucked up with game 1. They didn't really play good in game 1, and we still won. So we did what we were supposed to do. We still won. Now we go back to MSG. Like, I don't want to get too down on our young guys. I know they're not playing well, but they can come back. It's still enough time for them to do so.
Yeah. Related question. how much of our success is dependent on them coming around? And devil's advocate, just knowing that role players and young players are up and down, how do we justify our Knicks in 5 and Knicks in 6 and Knicks in 7, given that we're dependent
Because
on
see, when I
those
said
guys?
Knicks in 5, see, we was up on the upswing. That's why. That's what I mean. Like we was on a nice little tear, even though in the regular season we lost a couple in the regular season at the end of the year. But I was just talking about how the way we were playing, and shots were actually falling, and they're not falling now. Like if they fall in the Garden, then this is a completely different story. We had a bad second quarter and couldn't climb back up the huge hill. And I'm not too down. Let's just say that.
Queen,
Not yet.
I could say we were saying sweep or Knicks in 5, and I'm still saying Knicks in 6. Depending, well, we'll go back to my I had several scenarios for my prediction.
Yes, you did.
Right.
But we were saying that because the role players were playing their role. Right now they're not. In fact, the last 2 games they didn't, and even game 1 they didn't. We Cleveland didn't play well game 1, and we came out on top. That could have been anybody's game. But they're not playing their role.
Is there anything we can do to help them? Put your coach's hat on.
Well, like I said before, like being at home is going to help them, I think. And plus, I don't know, is it help for the whole team and not just the young guys? Nobody played well in game 2. So, I don't know. We'll see. But being at home usually does cure a lot of, headaches when it comes to role players.
I mean,
the only thing that could help us out is Tibbs' preparation, how he's going to adjust to what they threw at us, because it's definitely how we lost. It's what's changing everybody's mind. That game 2 was like you saw Cleveland give you probably their best, and we were down huge. So we just got to see how we battle back. But it's up to Tibbs. I think it's up to Tibbs to game plan and the guys to be out there and to pretty much put forth what he adjusts to. That's the only way we can get better.
Yeah, I just wanted everybody to just remember it was game 2 was bad, but it was really just the second quarter. In the second half, we were pretty even. That second quarter changed everything.
In the first half, we were pretty even too.
It was in the first quarter, yeah. But the first quarter,
I'm sorry, the first quarter.
Yeah, the second quarter destroyed the whole game.
Yeah.
So
the second quarter was 34-17. They outscored us.
Yeah, see, that changed everything. In the second half, in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter, we were pretty much even.
Yeah,
not saying
by the
that
fourth quarter though, they had put their starters to bed.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we also had 9 turnovers in that second quarter, and I think they had 17. Was it 17 or 19 points off of our turnovers in that second quarter? It was really bad. Yeah, it was really bad. Let's talk more specifically about Quickley, and just your expectation. I mean, you kind of spoke to it already, delusional Knicks fans, when we were talking about the group as a whole. But for the rest of us, what did you expect of Quickley coming in? How I can't imagine that he's met your expectations, so I won't even ask that. Of
course, not.
That part of the question. Clearly, he's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
That's a tough question. Who knows, man? Like he looked like he had deer in headlights. Like it looked pretty bad, even in the first game. Even though the second game was, I don't know who played worse between him, Grimes, and a couple other cats. But yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Quickley. But he's the type of person that usually, gets up for stuff like this. So I'm looking forward for him for game 3.
I'll start with this though quickly on why it is. So for the most part, what we see Quickley probably in his NBA career haven't been trapped. Haven't really been pressed and double team as much as he has in the playoffs. So this is from what I'm seeing. He probably has in Kentucky and all that, but in his NBA career, we really haven't seen this amount of pressure on Quickley to ball handle, because he's gotten out of situations where they're 1-on-1. or even if they do a lightly hedge just to, push them out of the 3-point line and then their defender get back. No, they're pushing them further back out, and he's getting trapped heavily. So I think this is a newer element that he just needs to kind of figure out. And for the most part, Brunson kind of initiates everything for us. So when they took the head of the snake, I think everybody just kind of crumbled under that aspect of where it's just like, dang, they're doing this to our main guy, and everyone just kind of felt under. Because I do think if Quickley, because there were certain aspects in that early game where Brunson took a lot of shots. So I said, all right, they're trapping and doing that. Bring in Quickley so you have a secondary ball handler to kind of shift the offense, right? Then, of course, they brought Quickley in that late, second quarter, and that's when the defense got tighter. He's getting trapped. They're throwing the ball over. And then Tip's confidence kind of wasn't in him, so he didn't keep him in as long as expected. They kind of pulled him out earlier. So those instances were kind of playing on it as well. As Tibbs is like, okay, this not working. Let me try to plug and play and see what. So Quickley did not get that extended minutes like we would see him during a stretch. I think he probably played maybe 3 or 4 minutes during that stretch, turning over, and he was out. And then, of course, he came in later on in the third quarter. So Tibbs they gotta figure it out.
So you're saying, would you suggest just riding him? Because you can argue with RJ Barrett. We're just riding him regardless.
Pretty much.
Particularly on the offensive end. Now, one thing, Tibbs did say is that he does give us length. I don't know how much that helped us in game 2, though. He does give us length. And overall, his defense hasn't been horrible. But offensively, his shooting percentages are, I don't have them in front of me, but they're not good. To say the least. So would you just ride with Quickley? He may turn the ball over initially. You might not get much out of him initially, but just ride him out.
I would ride with Quick because, like you said, we could defend on Quickley's defense better than we can with RJ. So, and it starts with defense for us. If we can get, stops, grab more defensive rebounds, and push the pace, that will take us out of that half-court game that Cleveland was really killing us in. So I would, and plus the shots that RJ was taking, I think Quickley probably could have gave you a little better percentage than that. So it's like I would ride with Quick longer than I would with RJ in this instance, maybe for game 3, and then just kind of play it how it is.
Okay, can I ask you guys a question? Would it be crazy? I know it's not going to happen, right? But would it be crazy to give Obi Toppin some of RJ Barrett's minutes?
But then that's like what spot will Obi play?
RJ Barrett's spot.
That 3.
Yes. I know it's not going to happen because Tibbs, he made it clear that he doesn't like Obi and Julius Randle and Floyd at the same time. But how would that hurt us?
You think Barrett is a bad perimeter defender? Obi is worse. You think Obi Toppin is going to be able to guard Garland in space? I think RJ Barrett did a decent job in game 1.
Well, here's how I'm looking at it. Not from the defensive point of view, but from the offense, right? If you put Obi Toppins at the 4, first of all, they had
at the 4?
At the 3, at the 3. They had Donovan Mitchell guarding RJ Barrett. Okay. I don't think they would put Donovan Mitchell on Obi Toppins.
Why?
Because that would be like Obi has nobody checking him.
Listen, I think Obi would be able to get the 3 up over Donovan Mitchell, but I don't think he's putting the ball on the floor and going.
That's fine. So that would give us something. So if Obi's shooting 3s over there over Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland, we'd get something out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, here's the other effect of doing that, right? Because when you do that, that would probably force Cleveland to put maybe Levert over on Obi Toppins and then free up Jalen Brunson on our end. Put either Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell on him. That's the way I look at it. Or they would have to take one of these guys off the floor to put somebody like Osman or whatever, one of those bigger guys. It would force them to make one of those moves.
Yeah, I hear you. Personally, I just don't think Obi's game is at that place in the playoffs where he's going to force Cleveland to do anything. I think any of those guards can guard Obi Toppin.
He shouldn't have been.
I don't think Obi Toppin is going to take them into the post and overpower them.
But
I don't think he's going to put the ball on the floor and drive in the key with those guys behind there. Basically, he's going to be a 3-point shooter. I would prefer
which
to rock
is fine.
with
Which to me is fine. He's a
Which
better
for you is
3-point shooter.
fine. Yeah,
Which
no
he's
doubt.
a better 3-point shooter than RJ Barrett.
Okay, I hear you. But you also have to keep in mind the other things Barrett brings to the game as well. You know,
Like
he's a
what?
better passer than Obi. Well,
All right.
he's in a position to play make more than Obi is in a position to play make out on the 3-point line, and he's a better rebounder than Obi Toppin. So it's not just 3-point shooting. So RJ Barrett is a mess offensively, but the potential to get some other things and other categories is there with RJ Barrett more so than it is with Obi Toppin.
I agree.
I would put Quick in
Well,
because I think if you got Quickley in, Quickley can guard Garland. Quickly can guard
Cash LeVert.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody's guarding Donovan Mitchell. I mean, you
Yeah.
know you do the best. You know, you do the best you can. I would go instead of Obi Toppin, I would go with Emmanuel Quickly and just ride him out. He might turn the ball over. He might, you know, it might take him some time to get his, you know, feet wet. I would go with Emmanuel Quickly. Joel?
No, I didn't have it. What was the question?
Just if you had any thoughts on playing Obi at the 3.
Oh. Yeah, we talked about it before, but that's nothing. Tibbs is going to change that now.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, Tibbs is going to shorten the rotation. Everybody want, like, you know, some of our bench to play more, like Deuce and Obi Toppin, maybe more minutes. If anything, Tibbs is going to shorten that rotation, especially if we keep losing. It's not going to be lengthened. Like, just like Cleveland. Cleveland only basically had an 8-man rotation last game. So don't knock Tibbs for shortening the rotation. Every other coach does that too in the playoffs. If stuff is getting bad, they went down 0-1 and only played pretty much 8 people last game and killed us.
Right, and if you take out Okoro's 2 minutes and change,
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not even counting him.
Oh,
or
you're not
Lopez.
even counting him. Okay,
Him and Lopez both played like 2 and 3 minutes. I'm not counting them. Other than that, they only played eight players.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, if I'm Tibbs or the coaching staff, listen, they can see the same things we see, right? So, you know, everybody like outplays. They didn't do what they normally do. You know, like you mentioned, Queen, the role players didn't play their role. You know, you had, you know, even Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, they couldn't do what they normally do because they certain things like the domino effect. There's certain things that happen that prevent them, that allowed, for instance, that allowed Cleveland to blitz them.
Hold on, keep that one up, Queen. We got to talk about that.
Which one?
I'm sorry.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Ajay, we'll keep it up, but Ajay, go ahead, finish.
Okay. Well, I mean that it kind of rolls into this also. So see, Sherwin says RJ Barrett was the best defense. I don't know based on what. Is that based on defensive rating?
So game 1, he was good with getting you the 6 assists, the rebounds and stuff like that.
Game 2,
and he stayed on Darius Garland, who was not aggressive. So he played his role. RJ had an okay game for game 1. Now, game 2, he was guarding Garland for that first half that he went off on. So you cannot tell me he was the best defender in game 2 because Garland set the pace with him being aggressive. They purposely went at RJ Barrett in that game 2. Purposely. You my guy, Sherwin. I appreciate you. I love you. But
No, they did. But I will say this. It's team defense anyway. So what was the team doing when RJ was getting picked off? You
Yeah.
know, and there was some times when Garland was getting 3-pointers off the ball. He wasn't even on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody drove into the key. The Knicks collapsed into the key, and Garland got at least 2 long 3-pointers on the weak side by himself. So all of Garland's 26 were not on RJ Barrett.
Yeah, I would
Right?
say everyone was bad.
Right.
I mean,
But all of them weren't on, RJ Barrett. But could we have made some adjustments in terms of how we guarded him? Yeah, I think we can. We could have. I think in the beginning, I don't know if that was the play to trap him before he even got hot. We were trapping him and allowing Mobley to roll down the center of the lane. I don't know if that was just Randle deciding he wanted to trap or if that was the actual play. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, Sharon, I don't know about.
Best.
He was part of it. It wasn't just him, but
Right.
he was part of Garland, going off in that second half, the first half.
mhm. The way we played in the second, I don't think anybody should be talking about what anybody did the best of in game 2.
Right.
We got blown out, and we were sorry. We
Yeah.
did not play well. Nobody played well.
Yeah.
But
34-17 in that second quarter. We had 14 turnovers at the half.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we was terrible. It was bad.
But did
You
we
know?
play the same defensive sets that we did in the first game? It seemed like we didn't do as much switching as much in game 2 that we did in game 1 on those pick and rolls.
I didn't see a lot of switching in game 1. I saw a lot of showing and getting back to your original guy in game 1, particularly on high pick and rolls with Mitchell.
Good amount of switches on those high pick and rolls where they were guard to guard pick and rolls, not the big,
Oh, okay.
not just
Okay.
guards to big, but the smaller
Okay.
ones. Because remember in game 2, it was a lot of Darius Garland picking off of Donovan Mitchell or Donovan Mitchell pitching off of Garland, and they weren't switching, which is how Garland was, like you said, was getting a lot of those wide open threes.
Right.
So that's what I was just trying to ask. Was that the case? Or did they kind of deviate from game 1 to game 2?
Listen, we can say it's schematic. There's going to be some of this fan base that's going to say the Knicks lost schematically. I'm not one of those.
Oh, of course.
I'm not one of those. I think, that may have played a part of it. The Knicks lost. They didn't shoot well. The Knicks didn't defend. The Knicks were out muscled. The Knicks don't have perimeter shooting. That allowed them to really collapse. Anytime somebody got the ball in the lane, they were able to swarm. The Knicks got out rebounded, which is their bread and butter.
Yeah.
If they're matching us on the boards, we have a problem.
Yep.
That's an advantage we should have.
Do
If they
we
take
try
that
to
away? Say it again.
Do we try to play Fournier? Like, what's your opinion on playing Fournier?
How would that help? Because he makes shots.
Yes.
He's been sitting all season. He ain't
Right.
rhythm to make shots now.
Listen,
No.
some of these guys been playing all season. You couldn't tell.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And you couldn't
I ain't
tell.
got no argument for that, Steph. You right.
You know what? The question, and this is the thing, when you have players who could play defense like McBride, not great shooters, and somebody who could shoot like Fournier, not a good defender.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah. It's a tough, yeah.
I do think we need perimeter shooting. I think whether that's Fournier, whether that's Grimes, whether that's IQ, whether that's RJ Barrett, I do think perimeter shooting is going to help us. But it's not what we do.
No.
It's just not.
We
we knew that coming in.
That's the solution. If we don't hit our perimeter shots, we're gonna go home. Okay. You're not gonna keep driving and scoring on those two guys down there. You have to hit your shots.
Okay.
And there's two things. You have to hit your shots because you can't. It's not. You can't just stroll in there and make layups. It ain't gonna happen. That's number one. Number two, you have to make your shots to keep your defenders with you to prevent Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson from getting double team and blitz and triple team. You have to keep your defensive player honest. You have to keep him with you. So you have to hit shots to make that happen. If we can't make shots, we're gonna go home.
But Ajay, You're right, but that's not how we've done it all season. And this is why I think Tibbs and the coaching staff has been genius. They've had the 3rd ranked offense on a team that can't shoot very well, don't have a lot of ball
I was
handlers.
about to say that, and don't move the ball.
They don't move the ball. They don't have a lot of people who can dribble, as well. How did we have the 3rd ranked offense? It's because we played the possession game. We had more possessions than everybody else. We made it count. We didn't turn the ball over. We got our second chance opportunities. That's how we scored. And we're playing a team that takes that away. And now we're saying, how are we going to score now? They're taking away how we score. Now we're going to ask guys to do what they haven't done all season, which is hit perimeter shots at a consistent enough basis so that they'll respect us, right? And that'll create more space, hopefully, in the middle.
Or you could play the guys that give you the best chance of hitting those perimeter shots and less of the guys that don't. For instance,
Fournier, Grimes.
Right.
That's what you're saying?
Obi Toppins. Right. Okay. That's your best shot. Your better perimeter players, you play them more minutes. It can't be RJ Barrett playing 40 minutes and he can't hit a shot. Because they for them, to me, it's disrespectful that they put Donovan Mitchell to check RJ Barrett. I mean that not mentally that has to affect him. That he's got to be like, man, they put that little guy on me. Like, you gotta remember, we keep saying he's young. He is young. That affects you mentally. That they put that guy who can't play defense and he's smaller than you. They put him on you and you can't score.
This is what I'll say about RJ Barrett. We got to think about RJ Barrett in 3 different categories: his offense, his defense, and as Ron would say, one of my favorite words, the ancillary stats, the other things he does in other categories. So when you're talking about trading him out and sitting him on the bench, you're taking all of that with him. And then you're going to replace him if you're talking about Obi Toppin with somebody who's only giving you one thing: 3-point shooting. You're not getting rebounding. You're not getting defense. You're not getting assists. That's not his game right now. So all I'm saying is, let's be careful. Let's acknowledge that RJ Barrett is not shooting the ball well. I think he's like in the 20s overall, in the teens from 3, like 1 for 8 from 3. Like, he's just not shooting well at all. But when you're talking about sitting him down and not playing him at all, now you're leaning more on Quickley, more on Grimes, and those guys have not been playing well. And you're taking away your rebounding, some rebounding.
That's not what I said, though. I said reduce his minutes.
Oh,
I didn't say sit him down.
It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, but RJ's playing 40 minutes, not giving. He
doesn't play 40 minutes.
He doesn't play 40.
You keep saying that he doesn't play 40.
He played 38 minutes the other day. 38.
He had 33 in game 2.
Yeah.
Did he have he had 38 in one of those games?
We only played 2.
Right.
And in the first game, nobody played more than 33 minutes. Julius Randle led the team at 33 minutes.
I thought RJ Barrett played 38 minutes in game 1.
No. But the thing about it is, it's okay to say we want to reduce his minutes, but who are we giving those minutes to? You say Obi Toppin.
Or IQ.
I'm saying I wouldn't reduce his minutes for Obi Toppin. I want to say I would reduce it for Quickley, but and just ride with him until he get his sea leg, so to speak.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I agree.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they all didn't play well.
And you're just gonna have to pick one and just
just ride with them.
Josh Hart, forgot all about him. You could give Josh Hart more minutes, but Josh Hart, who
Yeah,
knows where his ankle is?
yeah, he had a bad game too.
Yeah,
Like he didn't do nothing when he played either.
yeah.
Yeah, my thing with Josh is he's not aggressive enough on the offensive end. And he stated last year what he averaged 15. So he's capable of giving you numbers. And I get it over here. He's like our glue guy to bring the ball up, get assists, still scrappiness, but you see that we're down, guy. Get aggressive. In transition. I love him in transition when he grabbed the rebounds and attack it. He always put pressure on the boards, but it's still other dynamics. You're a great 3-point shooter on our team. It's probably because you only shoot it maybe 2 or 3 times, and 2 for 3. But I just want to see more volume from him in game 2. Put up some more shots.
For Josh Hart,
Yes.
yes, and Grimes as well.
Well,
Only
yeah,
took 2 shots, I think.
I think Josh Hart only took like 3.
He only took it was 2 for 3.
I
And
mean, shots were hard to come by, and in that game. Overall, the defense, they looked like the number 1 ranked defense in game 2. Like the Knicks couldn't the Knicks couldn't even bring the ball up to their waist.
Right.
That's how they were swarming and all over the ball. I think the Knicks got their their work cut out for them, and I'm not sure just being at Madison Square Garden is enough.
thinking the same.
I don't think just being at Madison Square Garden is enough. But let me ask this quick question about Quick before we start talking about game 3 or 4. Do you think how well he plays in this series not only impacts his contract, but do you think how well he plays in this series impacts whether or not he's seen as untouchable in the offseason? And I mean reasonably untouchable. We obviously, if it's a superstar, everybody's on the table. But do you think this impacts whether or not he's reasonably untouchable?
Yeah, I'd rather go second on this one or third.
Yeah, nah, man, don't run from this one. Let me see. IQ, do I think it'll affect his contract? No. And I really don't think. I think because he's still young. I think the IQ is. I think they really want him. Like that's their guy. You could tell by the way Tibbs has been playing him ever since he was a rookie. If he has a bad series, I think he'll just have a bad series and they'll just move on with him. Like I don't think he's going anywhere. If that's your question. Okay. But for him being untouchable, I think it just depends on the deal. Depends on who it is. I don't think anybody should be untouchable on this team. It just depends on who it is. But I don't think IQ has lost any money. Like people was just talking about how he just got snubbed for 6th man of the year. So no, like just because he had a bad 2 games, this series isn't over yet.
I'll go second. I agree with Joel on that, like 100%. I don't think, personally, I think his deal is already made. They haven't announced it yet, but these guys, they don't wait to negotiate at the last minute. They already know what they're going to offer him. They've been communicating with his agent, the entire time. These guys, they already know. They already know what he's going to get. They already made their agreement. So this will have they're not going to go back and say, well, he didn't perform well, so we're going to have to cut his check by $20 million. And he's, sometimes they call him Tibbs' son, Tibbs' grandson or whatever. They do that for a reason. Tibbs love him. He's not going anywhere. Last time we talked, one thing I told you guys is that this is Tom Thibodeau's team. All right. Everybody on that team is because Tom Thibodeau liked them. IQ ain't going nowhere. So just like you said, if a superstar comes along, yeah. But otherwise, if it's for another guy at, average, or I don't know, he's just not going anywhere. They're not just going to give him up because they just want to give him up.
Right. What I will say before you go, delusional Knicks fan, I'm not sure if they have an exact number. I think the Knicks would be foolish to lock in on a number before the playoffs. But I think that the Knicks have a sense of how much they're willing to pay, and I think they have a sense of how much his people are asking for. And I do think that how he plays in the playoffs gives one side more leverage than the other. than the other side. You can be asking for 120, but I'm going to point to this playoff series if he continues to play this way and say there's no way you can justify 120. But if he balls out and the Knicks are saying our max is 85, they could say there's no way after that playoff series, how he balled out, and you're going to offer him 85 million, that ain't happening. So I do think there's a leverage game that could be played with how he plays in the playoffs. But I agree with you, Ajay. Both sides have a sense of what the other side is either willing to give or is asking for. Delusional Knicks fan.
All right. About to stir up some trouble here. So for the most part, Quickley's contract, he would be a unrestricted, right?
Restricted.
He'd be restricted. Okay, so the Knicks would be able to match whatever. All right, so then
Yes.
all right, so then that changes my mindset then because they can match whatever Quickley could kind of go out and get. So I think that'll be the situation. Quickley will have a number, Knicks will have a number. Somebody might have to offer Quick one of those contracts in order for the Knicks to kind of match that to pretty much bring him back. And the only reason why I said that is like what Queen stated, this playoff performance. You know, they might be like, hey, throughout the season you played well, runner up for 6 man. We had a number, figured you would have go in, dominated in the playoffs. That did not occur, but we still got faith in you, so we come up with a number. But don't also forget that Quickley stated that he wants to be a starter in this league. He stated that. He's like, yo, I'm happy here, I'm playing good. I'm just saying, Queen.
It's the statement, not you.
Point in time, he
the
said,
statement, $3 million a year. I'm like, come on.
million.
No, definitely not.
Not you, Delusional.
Yeah.
Like,
So Quickley stated he wants to be a starter in the league eventually. So that should also tell you where his mindset is at as well. And he knows that Brunson is that man here for some years. So there's a possibility he could go and get that bag elsewhere. So Knicks will definitely give him money. Knicks is willing to keep him. I don't think this playoff performance will affect that as much, but I'm just talking on what I know Quickley. Yes. Evidently, his end goal will want to be is to be a perimeter all-star player starting, which he does make adamant of him being a starter as far as later on in his career. So I'm 50-50 on that aspect. Like he's still going to get paid, whether it's from the Knicks or somebody else.
And that is correct what Gerard said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the situation is this year. They're
right.
At the end of next season, they become restricted.
Right.
Because this is next season gonna be their 4th year, so they still on the rookie salary. Somebody said $3 million. Come on, guy. That's what Jericho Sims guy. He doesn't play.
Right.
IQ $3 million a year. Somebody trolling over there.
Right. Somebody's definitely going to, for this question, somebody's definitely going to give him the bag. I don't know how big it is, but
we don't know if it's
20 million
women's
now.
Big duffel, if it's a duffel bag,
yeah,
or
20 million now is not what it was back in the days.
A little change purse, you know what I'm saying? But he's gonna get something. He's definitely gonna get something. IQ had a good year.
Yeah.
IQ gonna get a satchel, like a little
fanny pack.
Little fanny pack.
I think. Listen, I think he'll still get paid, but I do think how he plays in this playoffs will swing the leverage that one side has over the other. But this is the other thing about him being untouchable, reasonably untouchable. What we're seeing now is we're going to need another ball handler. When you look at most backcourts, both of those guys can handle the ball. Brunson is the only one in the backcourt with Grimes who either can't handle it or they won't allow him to handle it on one side, and RJ Barrett, whose handle doesn't look that strong to me, on the other side. And I'm not talking about bringing it up with no pressure. I'm just talking about somebody's guarding you really tight and you got to bring the ball up in space by yourself. I'm not trusting RJ Barrett like that. So Brunson is out there pretty much is the only one who could bring it up, or Randle under pressure, right? So you're paying IQ on that second unit What are you doing with the first unit as far as ball handling and being able to release the pressure off of Jalen Brunson?
Queen, before we answer, I want to say something real quick, just so we clear. Randle bringing up the ball under pressure is not the same thing, because Randle, he just shoved his defender out of the way. he just toss him out the way and brings up the ball. So it's not his handle. It's just like he clears the space.
And that was gonna be my answer anyway. It would just have to be Randle doing it more. He did more of it in game 2. Also, he didn't do a good job, but that's just going to have to be. It is what it is, Steph. He's the only person that can do it. If you just talk about simply, people in the starting unit.
Well, I'm talking about. All right, this is an off-season conversation. I'll say
that's what I'm saying.
I'll save it to the off-season, in the sense of we're gonna have to upgrade the roster. We're gonna have to get some ball handlers and some defenders and some shooters in this lineup. But we'll save that. We'll save that for.
So we need ball handlers, defenders, and shooters. We need a whole damn team.
That's what I'm saying about us locking ourselves into all of these players and still having these needs.
Exactly.
We need a big that can score in the post to put pressure on the bigs.
This is you've only been here a few times. Don't start no ish.
Yeah.
Got the Mitch Hive out there. You start talking about how we need
since we started doing
that's what
shows.
We need.
Back to the basket big. Why? Because man, that frees up a lot.
Guys,
Freezy was talking about this when we
did for the off season.
Yeah, when we did the show earlier. They're using Jared Allen's guy. That wasn't the only time, but they used Jared Allen's guy to blitz Jalen Brunson, right? Mm-hmm. So they're trapping him. Mitch comes up to the foul line. Even if you could get it to him at the foul line,
what he gonna do?
He's not somebody that's going to even be able to turn around and hit cutters coming off this. He's just going to hold it till somebody comes and get it from him. So the extent of Mitch effectiveness, I mean, obviously, on defense and keeping people out the key, I get it. I'm not underestimating that. But if he's not getting them second chance points for you, and last night he had one, was it last night?
Worthless. If he can't get those.
Tuesday, whenever it was. He only had one. That limits his effectiveness because he is a liability on offense. You can trap with his guy. His guy can roam.
We'll talk about that in the offseason. I can't wait to hear who we want to get rid of in the offseason.
It's the same.
Let me tell you, my core is getting smaller and smaller every time.
It's the same people.
It was 6. I had and then when they have the expansion draft and how many people you want to protect, how many players you want. I was at 6. It's dwindling now. It might be at 4. It might be at 3 or 4 now.
We've really been talking about this for all season. We need upgrades, man. Like people are so content with these players just because we fall in love with them because they got on Knicks jerseys. All of these dudes can be replaced. There are upgrades available. We just have to figure out how to get them. That's all.
Right. Nick Yak. The Mitch Hive. Nick Yak wasn't even in the chat. He was taking a nap. He heard Mitch's name. He got up and turned on. He was listening to the show, laying on the couch.
Right.
He heard Nick's,
and they heard Mitch. They like, huh? Everybody like,
right.
What? They talking about Mitch Robinson? Let me get up in this chat.
Hartenstein is definitely
Tibbs need to unleash Mitch. If that's the case, Tibbs need to unleash Mitch.
Guys, you ever seen them zombie movies? And when the zombie hear noise, they're up. That's what happens. They hear Mitch, and everybody's like, huh?
Mitch had 2 points last game, man. Let's chill. He's not an offensive threat. That's not his game.
Yeah, but Nick Yak, it's not about the raw numbers. It's about what's possible. Because when you look at Hartenstein's 1.2 assists, a lot of it is that it took us forever to start using him to his strengths.
Right.
Forever to start using him to his strengths. He's a better passer than Mitch. I don't care about 0.8 to 1.2. It's not even close.
I'm not arguing that at all.
It's not even close.
Nah, I'm not arguing who's the best passer.
Mitch is not a ball mover, at all. But what he does do, he does well. And I think that's what the Tibbs and the coaching staff has done. Looked at this ragtag bunch offensively and said, what's our formula for scoring points? How are we going to do it? And they figured it out, and it worked well for us up until this point. We'll see at the next game. Just quickly, your thoughts on, no pun intended, Quickley coming in second place for Sixth Man of the Year.
I guess I'll start with that. It's very disappointing. I really need to see what metrics and stats they utilize to give that to what's his name? I'm sorry,
Brogdon.
Malcolm
Brogdon. Yeah.
The metric might be winning team though.
I'm about to
And
say,
I
winning
digress.
team and his stats is probably better too.
But quickly stats, his defense, points per game, all the metrics that I looked at, he is better in every category. You hear claims, Quickley started more games. He started more games than Brogdon did. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Brunson, clearly the award is 6 man. He's valuable to the team. You're coming off the bench doing your thing. I'm not worrying about, your team had a better record. That's because you got Tatum and Brown and one of the greatest offensive systems and defense out there in Boston. So it's not a team award.
So then what are you saying about us being in 5th place? I mean, Quickley had something to do with that as well. So if you're going to take away how Brogdon contributed to where they are,
I'm saying it's the Celtics.
We have Randle and Brunson as well.
I think the Celtics' success got Brogdon to where he was able to get the 6 man. Yes, he contributed with the same amount of points in a sense, but Boston still had a better players, better team overall. So they was going to win and still be number one regardless. So I know you understand like utilizing a team aspect, but he wasn't that bigger boost than Quickley was to that team to get them to that level. So that's why I said Quickley's contribution, it's way greater and better than Brogdon in my perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch Boston every single night like I watched Quickley every single night. So I can't say that. I mean, maybe if I watched both of them every single night, I would, be able to say better, but they were 10 games better than us.
I think so. I truly do. Quickley, he came in, gave it a spark. And then when our key guys went down, he stepped up, led the team like it was nothing. And we're talking in all categories, defense as well. And yes, Brogdon plays defense, but he's Quickley still had a better percentage. And he was, I think, higher ranked and defensive percentage on all players. So, like, what stats? What are they going off of?
I haven't looked at his stats, but Jeffrey says he had better counting stats, but the advanced stats are IQ.
Now, counting stats. What are we labeling the counting stats?
Just the points, total. Rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, stuff like that.
Okay.
Just the regular stats, traditional stats.
But yeah, not to take nothing away from Brogdon. I just, when you saw the effect that Quickley had, I just thought Quickley was better suited for it. But
yeah, I want to lose sleep over it.
Well, of course.
I mean, it's Brogdon. He had a great season. It's not like they give the award to a scrub. If they give it to Bobby Portis, I would have been up in arms. but
Bobby was averaging a double and stuff like that. So it's like you can.
These finalists weren't slouches now.
I'm about to say the coolest. I'm looking at Brogdon's stats. He shot 44% from the 3. Yeah, 48% from the field.
Brogdon, Malcolm Brogdon.
He had better stats than Quickley did.
He did.
Yeah, and Quickley got off to a slow start too.
That's true.
How many points did he average for them?
The same. They both averaged 14.9. Okay. But Brogdon shot
better percentages for a winning team. I mean, a team who won 10 more games. I mean, I hear you. Nick Quickley doesn't shoot better. Is what they went by.
Yeah, that's not.
I ain't go by
I'm
that.
about to say you put Quickley.
Yeah, I
in
don't
that,
know.
you put Quickley in that Boston
There you go.
Nick
lineup.
Yak, Nick Yak over there making up stuff, man. Yeah, that's what they went by.
Right. Without Brogdon, they was in the finals last year. He hasn't impacted his team like IQ us. Okay.
I'm with you.
Well,
I'm with you. And I honestly thought Quickley was going to run with it, especially with how he was playing late in the season. I truly thought he was going to run with it.
Yeah, but they look at the whole season though, the entire thing. Malcolm Brogdon's been good right out the gate.
Right.
But then Brogdon had an injury at a point in time where he was out for quite a few games.
Yeah, he played in 67. IQ played in 81. So IQ is definitely more durable.
Mm-hmm.
We knew Brogdon wasn't durable.
So.
Okay, Ahmed, relax. A lot of negativity.
Wait,
unfortunately, the Knicks are going to lose the next 3 games.
Don't do that.
Because they don't defend and shoot 20. Tibbs not going to make any adjustments. He will. I think he will make adjustments, but the players have to execute. And at the end of the day, you got to, regardless of the scheme, you got to rebound. Regardless of the offensive scheme, you got to hit the shots you do get. You know, Stafford, they in the chat talking about Randle.
Salute to Stafford, yo.
Salute to Stafford. I'm going to open it up. We're going to get into a few other things. But did we say all we're going to say about RJ Barrett, or was there anything else to say? I know we kind of beat the Quickley thing.
Ain't no point in talking.
To death.
Keep talking about RJ Barrett.
All right, we're gonna stop.
We didn't really talk about
RJ Barrett. I think we mixed him in when we were talking about Quickley. I will say this though. I don't know if I want to go as far as Keith Turner. Keith Turner correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's Keith Turner who said we cannot win this series without IQ. I don't know if I want to go that far.
What? But he almost has a point though.
No, he's right.
I can't disagree with him.
Unless you
hated second ball handler. Who's the second ball handler?
It could be Josh Hart too.
Listen, how many times we said on this show, IQ is not our third best player.
Yep.
In the regular season, yes, in the regular season he was.
I can't disagree with that statement.
The only reason I will disagree, I think it'll be tougher. But if somebody else steps up, I think you can overcome that. Yeah, I don't know if you can overcome RJ's 19.6 points, Quickley's 15 points. I don't know if you can overcome all of it, right? But I do think you can overcome one of them. You know? So I don't know if I want to go that far. Because I think the team has stepped up all year. So I think it's possible, but
and plus you got that
it's going to be harder.
I'm guessing Keith Turner said that because he doesn't have faith in RJ stepping up, though.
Right.
That's why. Because in his eyes, IQ is definitely our third best player. Like, I agree with him.
All right. You won game 1 without IQ and without RJ scoring a lot, but it took Josh Hart with 17, and it took Obi and Isaiah Hartenstein combining for 17.
Yep.
I still think we could overcome Quick if Grimes and Art, like we can overcome one.
Yeah.
If the others are.
Yeah, like you said, Josh Hart stepped up big time with 17 points because we won game 1 without RJ too. And Grimes. Like, they didn't have good games like that.
Louisiana Knicks, that's the only way if someone steps up. IQ has been the third best player on the team all year. But he's not showing up. Would you guys be disappointed?
He's gonna show up.
In IQ if he continued to play this way?
He ain't got no other choice but to play. I'm sorry, Queen.
What you mean?
No, if he continued to play this way.
No, I mean to like play better. He
has to play better.
He has to. We're at the Garden. He feeds off the Garden. He plays well at home.
He's still young though. This is only his third year, man.
if he plays the next 2 games, like game 1 and 2, yeah, he definitely gonna lose money. They're gonna have to pull him back to the negotiating table and say, listen,
They're
man,
not gonna look at him differently. I'm telling you,
we're
man.
gonna have to chop your money in half, bro.
RJ just got paid and we missed the playoffs. So why do y'all think just because IQ have a bad series on his 3rd year that they're not gonna pay him?
No,
Leverage.
RJ had
we wasn't in the playoffs. If we was in the playoffs and RJ played like this, we would have got RJ for $15 million. $15 million a year.
RJ played well last year.
Yeah, I can't argue that either.
We didn't have, but there was no playoffs. So they just have to go by what they saw from him in the regular season.
So RJ got the bag because we were sorry. That's what y'all said.
Well, because they was about to ship him out, and we had to sit there and be like, "Yeah, no, we appreciate you. Take this money."
Listen, before we go into something else, shout out to the chat. The only problem I have with the chat is
get him
85 people watching, 31 likes. I don't get it. That's 36%. I mean, the Knicks are shooting better than we like it.
You did calculations on the likes?
Yeah,
I got 2 accounts watching right now and both likes. So come on.
Step it up,
chat.
We need tonight. We got to hit 100 likes just like the last time. Come on, let's bring them up. And I'm watching the likes. I'm watching them go up, guys. Come on, let's go.
Hey, yo, Steph, you about to get diehard Giants about to like your stuff too.
All right, appreciate it.
Come on, let's bring them up.
Appreciate it.
I see them going boom boom, but let's go.
That's Jarrell shows for the Giants fans. His link is in the description. So be sure to subscribe to Die Hard Giants podcast.
We got the draft coming up soon.
Even if you're not a Giants fan, support the panel.
Word.
I definitely subscribe to that.
Let's talk about game 3 and 4, and then we'll open it up and we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Keys to winning. Well, let's just start with game 3. Keys to winning game 3, and more importantly, do you think Madison Square Garden is going to make that much of a difference?
Well, I expect MSG to be a madhouse for one thing. It got to be a jungle when we walk in there. So it has to mean something, or that means we don't really believe in home court advantage. It's the Garden. So to me, I'm not saying that we're guaranteed a victory, but it definitely means something. Like I agree with, or I believe in home court advantage at least a little bit. So yeah, the Garden got to be a madhouse. We got to let them feel it.
I don't know if it's going to make a difference in terms of, it's going to be a madhouse. And listen, I expect our guys to play well, to play better. Our guys, meaning IQ and Quentin Grimes. RJ's going to do, I don't know what to get from RJ. Mitchell Robinson probably going to have a better game than his dismal game 2. The only problem I have is Donovan Mitchell also going to play better at the Garden. He's also going to play much better than he did in game 2. But Queen, remind the people, there's a watch party tomorrow. So if you have the flyer, post it.
I don't.
Post the information.
I can.
I don't think I see. Oh, thanks, Jarrell.
Jarrell got the flyer.
Yeah. So when he puts it up, we'll.
Yeah. We'll talk about the watch party.
At Dirty Dance, I think you bring up love these names, by the way.
That's dope. That's a dope name.
A good point. One of the keys for him, a key to game 3 is figuring out the coverage on Karis LeVert. Can't have that mid guy dropping, 20 points. I mean, he's played well for them coming into the series. He poses a problem because now you can't hide Brunson. Now Brunson has to play offense and expend energy on defense, and they're blitzing him, so he's expending energy on offense as well. So they may have found something with that. I don't know if that was the plan all along, but Okoro came in, played that 2 minutes, and the next thing you know, LeVert played the rest of the game, and he scored for them. He's not as good a defender as Okoro, but he's a better scorer, and it keeps the Knicks defense, it keeps them honest.
It's an easy fix, Queen. It's an easy fix. Role players got to play their role, and then by doing that, they won't be able to blitz Brunson or Randle.
Right.
The role players got to play their role. RJ Barrett's got to play his role. Mitchell Robinson, those guys got to play their roles.
Yeah. Thank you, Emmanuel. I'll get to that. So the NBK fam watch party this Friday, tomorrow, actually, Game 3 at Legends, 6 West 33rd Street. There's the barcode just to register. It's a free event. We just want to know if we need more weights, how many people come in, so we can decide how many weight and bar staff we may need. I went for, what was that, game 1? Oh man, it was great. Are you going to be?
Great.
Are you coming back, Jarrell, or not?
Nah, I'm not going to bank Friday. I'll be there Sunday though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you never got an opportunity to hang out with the MBK fam, this is your opportunity. A free watch party. Be able to watch the game with other Knicks fans. 33rd Street in the city, not that far from Madison Square Garden. So if you can make it, we'd love to have you guys and gals. Yes, RJ was 6 of 25 the last 2 games. That's below 25%. Is this entire chat trolling? Yeah. They do need to move the ball, but you got to hit shots. Off the ball movement. You got to hit shots.
They stopping the ball movement, Queen. The blitzing stops the ball movement. See, that's the difference between blitz and a simple double team. You could pass out of it,
right?
But when you get blitz, you really can't do much with the ball,
right?
It's almost
and especially when they blitz with the taller. Well, everybody is taller than Brunson anyway, but then when they come in with Jared Allen, he can't even see. He's gonna have to move that faster. He's gonna have to move the ball as he sees him galloping out there. That's when he's going to have to move the ball, pass the ball. You cannot wait for the defense to be set.
Well, then maybe we need to start Hartenstein at the 5, kind of run the offense through him. Once they blitz, have him free throw extended where we could just dump the ball to him kind of quick. You space the floor out, have shooters where he could either attack or dish it out, or like you said, you could have Randle at that mid range and just kind of facilitate you there where he could be aggressive from there. And it's weird though, even when like certain teams run zone on us, we rarely put anybody in the middle to kind of attack and facilitate from that area. And like I said, I guess it's because Tibbs believes we don't have a playmaking big or someone that can really take it to that next level, or he just don't want the offense to be run through the bigs. I'd rather he wants Quickley or Brunson to kind of make those decisions. So, like I said,
but they can make the decision to pass it to Hartenstein.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They can make the decision, to pass it to Hartenstein. Right. So I don't know if he's going to start there, but I think that's definitely an adjustment delusional Knicks fan to make. And another adjustment is you got to put in another ball handler now.
Yeah. So are we sitting Grimes or we're sitting RJ for Hart? That's the key, because like
for Hart or Quickley.
Say that again.
Hart, because
so
would you start
sit
Hart
down?
and Isaiah Hartenstein, or just make them be the ball? Let me get to the super chat. Okay. Shout out to Trish D. I appreciate you, sis. Oh boy, I can't even find it. What happened to it? I can't even find it. You see it?
I see it up there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
I got it. Yeah.
Yes. Appreciate you, Trish D, for the super chat. Buy a drink or 2 on me. And I definitely will. I appreciate you, Trish. Yeah.
Queen, I want to shout you guys out. You guys, so delusional Knicks fan learned really quick. So he just suggested bench Mitchell Robinson without saying the name Mitchell Robinson, not to wake up the Mitch hype.
Right.
He said, why don't we start Hartenstein?
Right.
He said, not about Mitch.
Yeah, he
basically saying bench Mitch.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you start those guys, or are they the first ones coming off the bench? Hartenstein and either Hart or IQ.
I don't think Tibbs is going to change that.
He's not going to change that.
Yeah,
not this soon.
They're going to be the first one coming off the bench.
But my thing is, you have to do that to counter what occurred in game 2, and then of course to take Cleveland off of their original game plan. Because if you start that, then it's like, wait, Tibbs change that. Okay, now they have to play the catch
Right.
up and adjust. Don't wait till later on, till after the game to make these adjustments. Remember, we had this conversation on
Yeah.
your show previously.
Yes,
When do
yes.
we need to adjust? Is it in game or after game?
Right.
And we saw what happened when we didn't make that adjustment in game. So come on, Tibbs, start it in the first quarter, see what occurs. This is a boxing match. We all know that. Quarter by quarter, not half by half, not game by game.
But in all fairness, though, that's what Bernie Bickerstaff did. I think there are some adjustments you're going to be able to make in game, and there are some adjustments you're going to have to make game to game. Some of the simple ones you can make in game, but the other ones you're going to have to make them, after the game. That's what Bernie did. He saw what they did. He went, to the tape. All right, this is what we're going to do. Now it's Tibbs' turn. Then it's gonna be Bernie's, Bickerstaff's turn. I mean, that's kind of how it is. You can do some stuff in game, some rotations in game, but yes, bottom line, I don't think this was an adjustment issue for me. I do think, maybe some adjustments would have helped. I don't know if it would have helped the Knicks' poor shooting.
Yeah, we just played bad, man.
I don't know if it would have helped their lack of physicality. And let's not forget the fact that Cleveland was playing desperate. They didn't want to go down 0-2, and it's hard to match that. Bernie Bickerstaff is the dad, right? You're right. You're right. You're right.
Right. And I was going to say, we talked about everybody but Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson.
And we could do that. We can do that now.
They didn't shoot well either. Like, that's why we lost. It wasn't just everybody was sorry in game 2. Nobody had a good game. I said this on your in the chat during your morning show, the morning after stuff. I said only Isaiah Hartenstein to me was the only player on our team in that game that played like himself or up to par. Like he was Isaiah
did what he
Hartenstein.
usually does.
Everybody else underperformed. Everybody except for him.
Okay. Let's talk about Randle and Brunson. There's a few people, not a lot, still have concerns about Randle as a playoff performer. Just thoughts on Brunson and Randle through the first 2 games.
To me, I think they'll be fine. I think that, especially with Brunson. Brunson, the last game, even though his defense, he was not existent on defense, but on offense. And that's what we usually talk about when it comes to him. I think his shot just wasn't falling. A lot of it had to do with Cleveland also, but just the shots that he was wide open and that he makes all the time, they just weren't falling. And a lot of that had to do with Julius Randle too. Like Julius Randle, his shots just wasn't falling. A lot of his stuff was open. It was the same amount, it's the same type of shots they always get. They just didn't fall. So I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about them too.
So you're basically saying that they played the same way they always play.
It's
the same thing.
They played worse.
The shots didn't fall, but they literally did the same thing. It's just the shots.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like the where they get shots from usually that didn't change.
Yeah,
the shots just didn't fall.
Right.
So if our 2 best player shots aren't falling and nobody else shot is falling, then everybody played bad. We want to go win that game.
Yeah.
Like we have no chance if both of them shots don't fall.
Yeah, I thought particularly in the first half, Brunson was able to get to the rim, get into the key, get his usual shots, and it was just surprising to see him miss.
Right.
And I think that's why he just kept going back to the well. He was like, I missed that?
Right.
Let me try it again. And he would get in there again. I missed that? Let me try it again. And after a while, I was like, all right, Brunson, you're going to have to come back. You're going to have to come back to that. When you cooking is one thing to continue to shoot, whatever, but you wasn't cooking. So you're going to have to come back to it. But trust me, nobody else was.
Nope.
And when we came back in that third quarter, there was more ball movement. I'm pretty sure they talked about it at the half. Wasn't much to show for it, though.
But in that third quarter, and that's when they were playing. It's not like the fourth when, they took the starters out. In that third quarter, they only outscored us by 2 points. So that's what I'm saying. That second quarter is what really broke our backyard. After that second quarter, we just couldn't get up over the hill.
Yeah.
Like, it was
And we
pretty
only
much
scored
even.
39 points in the first half. What are you doing with that?
Nothing. You can't beat
39
anybody
points
like
in the
that.
half?
We would have lost to anybody.
Yeah.
Playing like that.
Shout out to Pirates, Stugger. I love that Brunson went for the knockout punch to end the series game 2. If he's hot, series over. After the first game, he was playing with house money. I hear you, Paris Stugger.
And guys, so Bickerstaff's gonna the same thing we see. He's gonna see the same thing, right? He's gonna say, you guys really only played well. You only outplayed them in the second quarter. So he's gonna get his
Yep, I
guys
agree with
ready
that.
to outplay them, to outplay
Right.
us in
Right.
more than just one quarter. So they're gonna they're gonna fine tune what they did.
Yep.
They're not gonna come back do the same thing. So we have to be ready for that.
Right. Well, I mean, I think what he was able to prove to them is that if you match them on the boards, you're going to have a good chance of winning this game. If you're physical, you're going to have a good chance of winning this game. They don't have perimeter shooters, swarm to the ball. You know what I mean? Swarm to
Right.
the ball because nobody else is going to beat you. And hopefully that won't be the case. Any other thoughts on Brunson and Randle in this series? Anybody not sold on Randle as a playoff performer? I know there's still some people who feel like he was still holding on to the Atlanta series and feel like he hasn't done anything yet to change their mind about him, this narrative that he's not a good playoff performer.
No.
I'll chat about Brunson and Randall real quick, but then I gotta kind of go head out real quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with Brunson. He's the head of the snake. Brunson, he's gonna come out with a chip on his shoulder. So I think he's gonna be a lot aggressive. He's gonna be more smart, and he's probably gonna pass the ball more, which is open up more shots for our team. So I think that'll be the difference on that end. Him being aggressive and him also looking for other players. As far as Randall, Randall's still coming back from missing a couple games, and the ankle is not the issue, is his conditioning. So you can see he's getting winded. The shots are falling shorter or it's either harder. So he just needs to kind of get back into that basketball shape, more aggressive shape, because he's playing more defense than he has in the regular season. So that's taking a toll on his offense and his defense. So he's more aggressive. So he's just tired. So we got a couple of days off for him to rest. He'll definitely come out with a better game. To sum it up, Knicks win game 3.
Right. Do you think his turnovers have something to do with the fatigue?
So that was with the trapping. He had to become that primary ball handler because they was pressing Brunson. So we all knew when Randall's our primary ball handler, he's going to turn the ball over 4 or 5 times a game. So with Brunson aggression, with Brunson stepping up, I think that takes less pressure off of Julius. That takes the ball out of Julius' hands as being the playmaker, and for him just to be an aggressor and to get buckets. So I think that's where that shift will occur. And then, of course, with everybody else getting hot, ball movement, they can't just zone in on just those 2 players. So that's what I'm praying happens.
Right. I think part of it, again, is Josh Hart or IQ
Yes.
having to be in the game. And like I said earlier when Freeze and I was talking, if IQ and Brunson are in the game together, I don't need IQ facilitating the offense. I just need him bringing it down and initiating it. Just bring the ball down the court, pass it to Randall, pass it to IQ so that we can get into our regular sets.
Yeah.
I don't really need him orchestrating the offense because he dribbles a lot and he wastes time. And then he waits till like 5 minutes, seconds left on the clock, and he can't get his shot off. Now he want to pass it to somebody to try to get a shot off with 3 seconds left. And he doesn't, in all fairness, he doesn't do that all the time. But when Brunson is in the game, I don't need him orchestrating. Just release the pressure, get it over half court, get it back into Brunson's hands. Let's do our sets. Obviously, if they trap Brunson, back to IQ, and then now you could do your thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. All right, delusional Knicks fan, we appreciate you. Oh,
Nah,
you still
thank
got
you.
time, or you got to go, right?
Oh yeah, no, my daughter's out running around now, so I
Okay.
gotta definitely tend to her.
All right, bro.
There ain't no school tomorrow, so I appreciate
you
that.
for dropping by.
All right, man.
And delusional Knicks fan does have a channel. I will get his link and I'll put it in the chat. He puts out really good videos, so please subscribe to his channel. Hit the notification buttons out so whenever he drops a video, you get an opportunity to hear his thoughts on it. Anything that we haven't talked about, and anybody in the chat, anything you want us to talk about?
How do you think they're gonna not deal with Jared Allen and that flagrant foul that he had, but do you think anything comes from that in Game 3?
No. So, and that's one thing I want to mention. I saw they had a, those guys talked to the press today. They asked Julius Randle about that. He's in really good spirit. He said, whatever. There's nothing he could do about it now, so it doesn't even matter. The play's over. It is what it is. It was a foul, and they call it it stops right there. So basically, there's no, according to him, there's no leftover from that. So it's just
He's
like
supposed to say that, AJ.
Huh?
He's supposed to say that. Bro.
Well, no, but he said it's.
What he say?
He was smiling. He was in very good spirits. You listen. If I'm Cleveland, I'm like, oh, we in trouble.
I'd smile too. I smile too.
Look for that video.
If I was Tibbs, I might start Jericho Sims just so he can dive on Jared Allen first play the game. I'm just old school, man. Stuff like that.
I like that, Terrell.
Like, I don't care. He got 6 fouls over there, man. I'll hack at Allen as soon as the game starts. But in all seriousness, I don't think anything will come from it.
Nah.
No, but what I hope comes from it is the Knicks play a bit more physical.
Well, the problem is, Queen, when we play physical, the refs they go crazy with the whistle.
Not in Game 1. I didn't think so. The Knicks were a more physical team.
Yeah.
In Game 1,
we weren't dirty. They were playing dirty.
Listen,
we weren't playing dirty.
Listen, there 3 Knicks players was bleeding. Listen, that's enough.
That's how physical it was down there.
One of us, we probably made somebody bleed our own people. Like Julius Randle slapped the hell out of Jalen. we gotta deal with the friendly fire too, man. Like we can't be too physical. Like we can't beat each other up.
The refs are letting us play. That should be to our advantage.
Yeah. And plus, it's gonna be in the Garden Leagues, man. We got 2 games at home. We gotta remember that.
Yeah, but Jarrell, I mean, come on, that's not a home court. The refs, the refs be killing us at home. No shame.
Yeah, I can't argue that either. You're right. Yeah, it's tough. We'll see though.
We'll see. Listen, I think. I don't know if I gave my take on Randle and Brunson. I think both of those guys is doing the best that they can do given their supporting cast. And we talked about this before the playoffs started. If you don't have guys who can hit perimeter shots consistently, which we don't, or guys who can, when they're taking those 2 guys away, that can have some sort of impact on the offense, whether it's a shot, whether it's driving to the lane, whatever it is, the Knicks are going to be in trouble. The Knicks are an in the key type of team playing against a defense that doesn't give up a lot of points in the paint and do a good job at rim protecting. This is like football, 4th and 1, 8-man front, which you got that. You got a good offensive line and a sturdy linebacker. They got a good defensive line. You know what I mean? That's how it is. We get most of our points in the key, and they're not giving them up. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we do next game. Obviously, if Grimes gets hot, that helps us a lot. If IQ gets hot from behind the arc, that helps us a lot. If RJ Barrett, I'm not counting on that. But if Grimes and IQ can hit some outside. That
Queen,
helps us a lot.
Queen, come on, man.
Josh Hart.
Give RJ some love, please.
He ain't
I
hitting that
am.
shot,
I am.
man. He got to shoot better, man. That's why I like. We can't give RJ love until he starts making shots. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah. And for Randle, I think if those turnovers are fatigue is because of fatigue, he needs a bit more rest. Because 11 turnovers in 2 games,
Yeah, that's a lot. In the
that's
playoffs,
a lot. That's a lot. The Knicks turnovers are up anyway. You know, I was saying in the first game, they only had 13 turnovers, which is similar to what they had in the regular season. But it didn't dawn on me at the time. The same turnovers, but on less possessions than they got in the regular season. So they're turning it over at a higher rate in the playoffs. They have to do a better job with the ball. Somebody, I think it was Keith Turner, said, "Do I still have them in 6?" You're right. You're right.
I said 5, Steph.
I might adjust it depending on what I see in game 3. Because I think what's really, really concerning is they matched us rebounding wise. They defended us in the paint. They beat us at our own game in a few statistical categories. And if that keeps up, they're going to be tough to beat. And we don't get perimeter shooting, and they keep blitzing Brunson, and we don't have a relief valve because Quick is nowhere to be found, or
RJ's nowhere to be found.
Or RJ's nowhere to be found. I could definitely see it going south, but I want to see how the Knicks respond in game 3. I'll have a better sense.
We talked about Obi and Randle playing together. We didn't talk about Hart and Mitch playing together more, and how much that is a possibility. Say Randle slide to the 3 a little bit, depending on who's on the floor, obviously, but might go big instead of small. If we keep getting out rebounded, I can see that.
Right. The only thing with that is Hart is not going to pull Mobley out of the key as much as Randle does.
True.
You're going to have 2 of them down there. And if you're operating on the perimeter and you're hitting your perimeter shots, that's good.
True.
But if you're trying to get in that key, both of them are going to be down there. I think depending on what Mitch is doing, Hart may wind up getting more minutes than Mitch.
Well, he already get more minutes than Mitch, though.
Much
he
more.
Just don't start.
Right. Maybe he gets significantly more than Mitch.
Last game, I'm looking now. Last game, Mitch played 21. Isaiah Hartenstein played 27. So that already
that was
started.
Game 2 or game 1?
That's game 2. So that already started. Like, Mitch didn't have a good game. He got sat early.
Do you guys see? And in that game too, I thought I was gonna see Jericho Sims get some minutes. Like, Jericho got nothing.
We not expanding like Tibbs ain't expanding the rotation.
No, it's gonna shrink.
It's gonna shrink. Just like what I said before, like Cleveland pretty much played 8 players. It's gonna be like that for us soon too. Somebody like Obi might not get that many minutes. Like, we might just play 8 players. So Jericho's going to, he don't have there's no pathway for him to play any minutes unless like one of our bigs get in like foul trouble.
We did. Our guys was playing with 3 fouls in the first half. He didn't put Jericho. I thought I was going to see some Jericho minutes, but he didn't.
Nah, I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
I don't think so. Nick Nation brings up a good point. Salute Queen, Jay, Ajay in the chat. Why are we killing RJ? Where is IQ? Where is Grimes? Where is All-Star Randle? The fan base has been singing IQ praises. Where is he now? RJ is right where he needs to be. And then now,
you just came late.
True.
We killed them already.
We killed both Grimes and IQ.
But no. But this is the thing. RJ is definitely taking more heat than IQ. And a lot of us didn't even have expectations of RJ coming in. A lot of us, including myself, was saying whatever RJ gives us, he gives us. We've been able to win with him and win without him in the regular season. We'll do the same thing in the playoffs. IQ is our third best player, fourth leading scorer, third best player, and he is nowhere to be found.
But that's the reason RJ is getting killed, because a lot of people think that IQ shouldn't be our third best player. It should be RJ, the guy who, was drafted third and just got paid and has been playing in the league longer.
Right.
So that's why he's getting killed over IQ. But yeah, both of them should be getting a little, little negative talk.
But when you think about the regular season, were you expecting a lot from RJ?
I wasn't. No, you wasn't, because we don't expect that much from RJ. But some people are definitely expected more from RJ than IQ. Most definitely.
I was.
You was expecting more from RJ?
Yes.
A lot of
Last
people-
year he did not. He had a good season last year, and
Right.
I thought
No. I mean, and this going into the playoffs, did you
no.
expect?
Well, no. We talk about for the season.
No.
Because
the playoffs.
so
Playoff.
playoffs, no. Because I watched him all season. I know what he could do. I know what he's done all season. I don't expect him to all of a sudden start playing. But going into the season, I did expect him to take that next step.
Right. I mean, I think why I'm not killing Quickley, because I knew the playoffs would be different, and I wasn't like a lot of the fan base who thought Quickley was just going to slide into the playoffs and ball out like he was doing in the regular season. I said if he does it, great, but if he doesn't, I'm not going to be surprised. If it's a different animal.
I'm still expecting him to.
All right. Would you be disappointed if he doesn't for the rest of the series?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Like you didn't know grace for the fact that the playoffs are different, and there are some players who could come right in first time and ball out, and then other players it takes them a little while.
It takes
Or
what's a
don't
little
get
while.
it
How
all.
many? I mean, how many trips this made this? Listen, we know how this is professional sports. IQ may never see the playoffs again.
This is his second time in 3 years, though.
So
But I get it, though. I'll be disappointed, but I understand. Let's just say that. Still young, man.
I would definitely be disappointed. Even Grimes, I know you telling me this is Grimes' second year. I'd be disappointed too, because I remember the shows we had. I told you that he was I feel like if Quinn Grimes play well this season, I mean this series is over. Cleveland, there's nothing Cleveland can do. Cleveland's toast. If we get the regular Quentin Grimes we've been getting.
Listen, yeah, exactly. If Quickley plays up to speed, if Grimes plays up to speed, if all of these guys, obviously it is a different, it is a different series. I just feel like I said this, counting on yeah, I hear you, Josh, but like we said, the playoffs are a different animal. And I'm not going to get on a guy because his first time being in a significant role, he doesn't come through. It happens to the best of them. I've seen Paul George struggle in the playoffs. I've seen a lot of players struggle in the playoffs. It's just a different animal. And like I said, some people can come in and make it happen. Others, it takes time. And I don't think it takes anything away from his regular season. I would not be disappointed, but I am acknowledging that him not playing well makes it tougher for the Knicks. Not impossible, makes it tougher for the Knicks. Grimes not playing well. I mean, this is what I said before. The fact that we even have to lean on these guys,
Right.
it just tells us where we are in our roster construction and just where we are in our youth. And it will get better over time. We'll get better over time. But Keith Turner, I'm going to still say Knicks in 6. But they got work to do. I'm really looking forward to see how they respond in game 3.
See, I said Knicks in 5, so technically I'm not wrong yet. I'm still holding on until they get that second win. Still holding on, man, but we'll see what happens, man. I'm psyched up for Game 3.
Salute, Kerry Cox. I appreciate you. Nick Nation 112. I would like to see RJ succeed, but they remove the ball from RJ and expect the same result.
You say remove the ball from RJ, like he doesn't have the ball in his hands enough, or he doesn't get enough shots,
or his role has changed.
Because he still gets the third most amount of shots after Brunson and Randle. So,
and I think after the All-Star break, he was right there with Brunson in terms of field goal attempts, at least.
He just doesn't hit the shots when he gets the ball. So, at some point, you got to stop giving him the ball. Like if it was a larger sample size of when RJ was hitting, then I could see where that's coming from. But for the most part of the season, he wasn't hitting. So I don't know.
I mean, I
have expectations for the team to win, but it doesn't have to be on quick to do it. That's all I'm saying. I have expectations for the team to win, but I don't think it has to be quick. You know, if it is, great. But if it's not, what you know, it's his second time. He's had 5 playoff games.
Yeah, somebody else
coming into this series. 5.
Yeah, somebody else can and should be able to step up if he doesn't.
Right. This was like my issue coming in. This was my issue coming in. If Brunson and Randle are double teamed, blitz, not effective, taken out of the game, this is who we're relying on. Quickley and Grimes. I wasn't relying on RJ. Whatever you get, you get. Quickley or Grimes. If they were able to come through, awesome. If not, how you going to be disappointed? Grimes has yet to play
2 seasons.
2 seasons of basketball. And everybody was all up in arms because he was knocking down shots in the regular season. It's just a different ball game. You're not going to get what you usually get. They're going to try to take it away from you. You know? And so we're asking, them, they're being game planned against, because remember, in the regular season, maybe the top 2 guys are game planned against. Obi, or watch Obi Toppin. He liked the league out. That might be the extent of it. In the playoffs, everybody is game planned for. And you asking these young cats that's not stars yet to show up anyway. Some people can do it. Don't get me wrong. Some people can do it. Right now, IQ is struggling doing that. Grimes is struggling with it. Some of Grimes' stuff, though, is just not, to me, it's just not enough volume.
Yeah.
It's just not enough volume. But Quickley turning the ball over, come on. He's not playing well, but everybody else is surprised. I'm not surprised. I knew it would be a possibility.
I was going to say, to your credit and to your point, name the other second and third year players in the playoffs right now killing. Who are out of all the teams that are in the playoffs this year, who are the second and third year players actually being the best?
I think Maxey come in? Maxey's playing well for.
Maxey came in same time as Quickley.
Yeah, Maxey is playing.
We got one.
Well.
We got one.
Yeah, but Maxey is in a. I guess they're counting on Maxey. He's their third option. I guess they are counting on him.
He also has the MVP on his team and James Harden as the second. So the pressure ain't even on him like it is on Quickley.
You got the guys in Memphis. What year did Baines come in?
They older than all these cats that we talking about.
Yeah.
They've been in the league for a few years.
And
Dillon Brooks.
Anthony Edwards came same time as RJ Barrett, I think.
No.
I think Bain came in with RJ, because remember people were saying how Bain was
came in with RJ. So that I don't even count them. Anthony Edwards is the first pick in the draft, and that's 2. Because he came in with the Obi draft, wasn't it?
I thought it was RJ draft he came in.
RJ was Zion.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, RJ was Zion.
Yeah.
Ja, and Bane. Yeah, that's right. Bane did come
Right.
in.
So far we have Anthony Edwards, who was the #1 pick in the draft,
Yes.
and Tyrese Maxey. That's pretty much it when it comes to playoff rosters. I think I have to go through all of them, but those are the only 2 young cats that's actually playing well in the playoffs right now.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to expect Quentin Grimes to, have an all-world performance. Evan Mobley, that's the what draft is that?
No, this is just his second year.
Second year. But
Right?
Evan Mobley ain't
Evan
killing
Mobley was
either.
last
What do you-
week.
Yeah, he's not killing it either.
But he's not killing it either. So
But
no,
but,
take his
but
name off.
defensively,
He came in last year with Scotty Barnes in them.
Yeah, he came in last year, but so that's one person. But yeah, I wouldn't put him up there. He didn't have a good game 1. He had an okay game 2. Like he wasn't, the main reason we lost. He had 13 points.
who had 13?
Mobley. I'm looking at it right now. He had 13 points last game.
But his defense though.
Yeah.
And the fact that
Definitely a
they
good
don't even
defender.
have to double team Randle.
Right.
They
Definitely
don't have to double team Randle.
a good defender. One of the best defenders in the league.
But they did though. They
So-
blitzed Randall a couple of times.
So if you want to put him on that list of young players that's doing well in the playoffs, you can put him on that list because of his defense. Okay, so we got 3.
Anything else? Anything else from the chat?
Yeah. Knicks are nice at basketball gods is going to help us win game 3. Oh no, my bad. That's what's up. I like that. The basketball gods, man. Hopefully. We'll see what the Garden bring, man. Like I said, it better be a madhouse. It got to be a jungle in there. Game 1 was saying.
Yeah. Well,
It will be a madhouse, but they got to play the game.
yeah, definitely get the likes up. We got 93 people. Support the channel. We got 57 likes.
That's disgusting.
Give him that, Jake. That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
Is MySpace still around? MySpace is not still around.
I wouldn't know.
No.
I ain't been on that. Somebody might be chilling over there. Like I wouldn't know. it might be a group of Knicks fans over there.
One person on MySpace.
You never know. But the one person got to pop it over there though. Actually, you got the whole MySpace popping.
Knicks need to get shots or they're done.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think there's going to be a lot of shots in this game, particularly if the Knicks are not getting second chance opportunities. Not going to be a lot of shots. And you got to make the ones you do get, if shots are limited, at a pretty good rate. And the Knicks haven't done that through the first 2 games. But they won the rebounding battle in the first game, and I think that helped them. Despite the poor shooting, they won the possession game. Kareem Grant, I appreciate you.
Salute.
All right. I guess there'll be last words. Oh, let me. I forgot I got a new Patreon. Okay, I'm not gonna put it up until I add my new Patreon. I don't want him to feel. I was gonna thank my Patreon. Put the banner around the bottom, but I have a new Patreon. And
okay,
I didn't get a chance to add them in.
Okay.
To add them in. But anyway, any last words?
Nah, man, gotta win. I think we definitely win game 3. Game 4 is gonna be sketchy, but I think just the energy alone, us going home, I think the Knicks definitely win game 3.
Yeah,
I don't know about definitely, but listen.
Yeah, hold on though. Hold on, man.
Listen, Jarrell, listen to me, right?
We was going to win that championship last week.
Listen.
Didn't you say Knicks in 3?
Yeah, like you said, like it wasn't a question. Now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy.
I said if Knicks win game 1, I think my prediction is if Knicks win game 1 is going to be Knicks in 5. But listen, if role players play their role like they've been doing all season, we could, yeah, we're winning. We win in games 3 and 4. If they could play their role. If everybody do what they can do, what they've been doing all year,
Right.
okay, you're not gonna get those Jalen Brunson blitz or those double teams, and you're not gonna get those things. I'm telling you, it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. RJ Barrett over there in the corner, he's not hitting anything, so his guy is free to roam around and come double team anybody they want. Okay, those guys got to play their role. That's it. If we do that, we win in the next 2 games. See, I'm not even predicting game 3. I'm predicting game 4 too. 3 and 4.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow. We'll see. I'll feel much more confident after game 3. I'm still gonna say Knicks in 6, but I'll feel more confident after the next game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Be
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button. In the description, yeah, I have an audio podcast as well. Freezy and I do a show every other week. I'll get other content there as well. I might even take some segments of this show so that you'll have an opportunity to choose how you want to listen to the content, whether you want to watch it on YouTube or whether you just want to download it from your favorite streaming platform and just listen to it while you're on the go. But Dope Soul Sports Talk podcast is up and running pretty much wherever you listen to your podcast. So be sure to download them, give them a listen, become a Patreon, $5 a month to support the movement if you can. But there are other ways to support that doesn't include money. Hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, sharing the shows on your social media platform, super chats. There's different ways to support the channel. I appreciate it.
Queen, I just want to say something real quick.
Weird.
That's only $5 a month, right? That's less than a cup of coffee over at Starbucks. So just spend one day, not drink that cup of coffee, and then send it to Dope Soul Sports Talk.
Right. That the link, the Patreon link, is in the description. I keep forgetting to pin it to the chat. I'll do it. I'll do it next time. And Ashley Inc. said I canceled my broom order. Yeah.
No, there's still a possibility of a gentleman's sweep.
A gentleman's sweep.
Hey man, I said 5. I'm not wrong. Just want you to know.
We'll see.
I'm not wrong.
We'll see. You know how we do as Knicks fans. We win one game, we win it in 3. We lose one game.
It's over.
We ain't never coming back.
It's over.
To the playoffs.
Just go home. I don't even know why we playing game 3.
Yo, the panic. Yeah, that was a tough day since Tuesday night. That was a tough couple of days, man. The Knicks Nation was up in arms. Everybody was, the opinions was all over the place, man. Relax.
Yeah.
We're in great shape. We go over there. We won one game. You know what I'm saying? So we're good. We're all right.
I think if we were more competitive in game 2, I think.
Queen, listen. If you look at the whole thing, we played 8 quarters. We weren't competitive in 1 quarter. We're in great shape. We're in very good shape. Let's just we're all right.
But are you counting the 4th quarter when they had their bench in?
No, they didn't fully have their bench in, because you remember Jared Allen fouled Julius Randle late in the 4th quarter. So he was still in there. So it's not, they didn't really have their bench in. They had their bench for the last 2 minutes when we had their, so listen, 1 out of 8 quarter, we're good.
Steph, it count, it just don't matter.
Right. Right. I felt like after half, when we went on those 1 or 2 runs to get it to like 16 in the 3rd quarter. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. The 4th quarter, that 4th quarter, it counted. It just didn't matter. Not really.
Yeah.
Unless somebody with that
confident, regardless of how we played in game 2.
To be honest, I'm still confident too. But I guess maybe because I expect us to start hitting shots like IQ and Grimes. I don't expect them to play that badly.
Listen, we're gonna start hitting shots, man. I mean, those guys are too good to have like the next 3 games or the
And I
next 4
definitely-
games. Not it's impossible.
And I definitely don't expect Brunson to shoot like that. He was like 5 for 18 or
Yeah.
or
On good
19,
shots
like
too.
that. Yeah. On good
But-
shots, like 5 for like 16 or 17. I forgot how many he shot, but it was bad.
But they can still continue to take the ball out of his hands, though. On
Yeah.
those, if they commit to the double team, he's not going to get as many shots. You know, he's just not.
Not if role players play their role. Not if R.J. Barrett hitting shot. Not if Mitchell Robinson is down there doing what he's supposed to do. Not if Quentin Grimes hitting shot. They're not going to be taking the ball out of his hands.
They're going to be.
Everybody's going to stay home today, guys.
Understood.
It's a domino effect. You know.
Delusional is reading his daughter a bedtime story. I don't know how old his daughter is, and still listening to the show. He said Brunson dropping 38 tomorrow.
That's what I'm talking about. I think Brunson gonna kill tomorrow. Like I'm very confident in this team. They got to show me that we done. I don't think we're done yet.
Brunson was on the sideline at the end of the game, looking onto the court like they had won the championship. You know how when a team win the championship and you just sit there after the loss and just soak it all in?
Yep.
That's how he was looking.
Yep. He was like, he can't wait to game 3. I can tell.
MySpace is still.
You ain't got it. Nah, I don't believe that.
That's a
trolling.
legacy page. I mean,
Snipe strolling, man.
Yeah, you ain't got no MySpace. If you do, you forgot that password a long time ago.
Yeah. No doubt. But anyway, we appreciate you guys. If you can make it out to the watch party, we'd love to see you guys. I'll be back Saturday morning, hopefully to recap a win.
Yep.
Jarrell, Ajay, Delusional Knick fan, I appreciate you. Till next time.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope soul.
Where you at? Where you at?